Hi, everybody. How are you tonight? I'm so happy to see everybody on here, and thank you, thank you, thank you. And I love it that I already have 26 thumbs up, and I see that my cousins and my wonderful mods and everybody is already on here and talking. So that is just really great. Thank you. 27 thumbs up. Awesomeness. Thank you. And I keep forgetting to turn I want to turn the ads off at the beginning of of this live stream, and I keep forgetting to do that because I have to log on early and go do it somehow, and I don't know how to do it, but I'll figure it out. So I apologize for the ads up front, and I don't want y'all to have to endure that. So I apologize for that. But welcome to Friday Night Live. Bandit has already come up to say hello and see who I'm talking to. Can you say hi to everybody, Bandito? No, you don't want to say hi to anybody. He said, I don't want to say hi, Mama. So thank you to all my early birds that were on here, and thank you to my mods that are on here tonight. I see Gina and Robert, and I bet Noreen. Yep, I see Noreen. I don't know if Lauri Smith's going to make it or not. But anyway, I'm so glad that y'all are on here. Lynn, I'm so glad to see you, and Pearl, and my cousins, and oh my goodness, just everybody. And I don't know how long Bandit will stay up here, so I'm not trying to make him. But I see Lauri War on here, and Lauri, I hope that your little Jake, your dog, is better. Been thinking about you, and Bandit and I send you love and hugs. And you want down or you want up? Do you know what you want to do? He doesn't know. Him's not feeling good. It's not the heat this time. I'm going to put you down. You don't know what you want to do, so I'm going to put you down. Okay, stay there. Anyway, it's because I gave him a treat that, and it was a good, wholesome treat, I promise, but it was a little bit too much for his stomach. And it's the first thing that he's ever eaten that he couldn't handle. So anyway, he's okay, but I can't. Lauri, you should have your wrench. I don't know why you don't have. That means that Lauri isn't. She's on here, but she's not showing up as a mod. I can't do it from this software that I'm in. I'm so sorry, Lauri. So remind me, please, after this, that we will get it. Well, I'll get you set up as a mod again. I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry. So let me thank my new patrons this week. We've got Glenn Conrad, Debbie Pitcher from the UK. Thank you and welcome across the ocean. And Torii Gates and Sean H from New Zealand. I really appreciate that. And I had a couple of patrons that increased their pledge, and I appreciate that too, especially Susie and Jeff and Steve and Beverly. Thank you. And as always, I want to always give shout out. Let's see, I want to give shout out to people that have bought my merchandise and send me pictures. And this week, that is Carla Dees. Here is her picture of her dog, Chloe, with my squirrel sticker. Isn't that cute? And you can get those from Teespring. And Chloe sent me that one because she says it is going to be the first sticker on her RV, and that makes me on her rig, and so that makes me so happy. Bandit kept scratching to come back up. He just wants to be held. And and Doreen says you look lovely tonight. Thank you. Let me get that off there about the Teespring. I missed it. Hang on. There we go. Gina Beans, because I want to give a shout out to my cousins that are on here. This is part of the jewelry that they sent me, and every outfit that I put on, I've been having so much fun trying on all the new jewelry and everything that you guys sent me. So thank you. So that's part of my get up tonight. Let's see. Oh, so that was the merch update. Now for the writing update. You guys, see, why is that not showing up? I don't know why that's not showing up. But anyway, so instead of just showing you the cover tonight, all of a sudden my stuff isn't working, and I don't know why. Oh, there we go. Instead of just showing you the cover tonight, look, guys, my books came in. So my first bulk shipment. So that means that I get to send out all my books that people ordered, that signed copies. where is it? There it goes. I have like 40 of them that I have to send out this week, and I'm so happy about that. I'll get to go to town and get those in the mail this week, and so that's so exciting. And I see, Brenda Whitlock says she loves the black and turquoise. I know, it was such fun to put on tonight. And I don't think I've seen Infinite Acres from Arkansas before, so I just love always having new folks on here. And thank you for putting up my link, Noreen, to my books. You can always go to DebraDickinson.com and books, and I am so excited. And Doreen ordered a book, and Traci Losee, I'm probably not saying that right, says congrats. I can't keep up. Tony says you are smiling and looking a lot happier, and there's a lot of good reasons for that, Tony, and we're gonna talk about it here in a moment. And so let's see what else I have. KarDeez and my books. Let's go ahead, you guys. So this section of Where is Robert Tonight? I wish y'all could see Bandit. He's here in my lap. He just wants to be in my lap. He don't want to be on camera. He just wants to be in my lap. And so on the section of Where is Robert Tonight, he apologizes to you guys for not having very good scenery. But you guys just wait until he shows you his campsites, where he's been, and where he's at right now. And y'all tell me after you watch this, is it just me, or his blue eyes, they're just gorgeous. Anyway, y'all check out Robert's. This is the Where is Robert segment.
I'm recording inside today. It's a little breezy here, and I left my good microphone with Debra down in the desert because I knew she'd need it this summer for any outdoor recording because it's windy there a lot. So I'm holed up inside to get away from the wind. I'm still in Oregon, briefly, not for much longer. As of yesterday, I finished up the on-site portion of the freelance project I've been working on. I have to meet up with somebody on another smaller freelance project I'm working on. Tomorrow, I'm also meeting with a viewer and online course subscriber to do a little consulting on some van build stuff. So that's kind of wrapping up everything here in Oregon. And tomorrow afternoon, Saturday or Sunday morning at the latest, I'll be heading east, making my way back towards Wyoming. Why? Well, because I have 3 granddaughters who are starting soccer, and they have a game on Tuesday, first game of the season, so I need to be there for that. Camera in hand, of course. So I'll spend a little time there in Wyoming with the kids and grandkids, seeing them. And after that, I'm just not sure yet because, well, because of the current situation. We'll see how things are shaping up. And I do know, I'll probably be back in the desert for October. As far as between here and there, it's a little bit of a question mark still at this point. I've been stuck in one place again for the last week for the most part, so I'm afraid I don't have a lot of great scenery to share once again this week. Next week, I'm sure it's going to be different. I did see today, really awesome. I was not able to get a photo of any of them because there was nowhere to park, but I had to go over to the gas station in Chiloquin, a little town not too far from here, to fuel up. So I was all ready to start my trip back east, and I saw a bald eagle sitting on a post on a utility pole, and there was nowhere to pull over, and there was traffic coming both directions, and I didn't have the right lens on the camera. So I'm like, by the time I stop in the road and change lenses and try and get a picture with traffic on both ways, I didn't think it was a good idea. So couldn't get a picture of that. Coming back from the gas station, I saw a bald eagle land in a nest with eaglets in it, and I saw at least one of the little eaglets popping its head up. I was so disappointed. Again, nowhere to stop, so I could not get a picture of that. And then I had a big red-tailed hawk fly up off a fence post along a cattle pasture and right in front of me, and I actually got a great view of that. And of course, I did not have the dash cam on and could not get a picture because I was driving. So it's like just one of those, all 3 of them were like, oh, awesome, and I didn't get a picture of any of them. So that was, you'll have to use your imagination. And well, that's what I'm up to. And I'm still in Oregon for another day or two, 24 to 48 hours type thing, 24 to 36 hours probably, and then I'll be making my way east. Route yet to be determined. There's 3 main options, and I'm not sure which way I'm going yet. All right, well, we will catch you next Friday night, everybody, on the weekly FNL, and I promise I will have some better scenery photos that time.
So wasn't that awesome? And y'all let me know about my volume. I think I had it up too high, and so it was probably bothering you guys. And I turned it up instead of down, so my bad. But anyway, Robert, thank you for doing that every week, and I love it, and I know my viewers do too. And I have, you know what happens with trolls is they come in and they put thumbs down right when they think it'll hurt the most. And I have 131 people on here with 63 thumbs up. So y'all counter those trolls and give some thumbs up to Robert for that wonderful segment that he does every week. Thank you. And let's see, and what they don't know is every time they give me anything, whether it's a negative comment or a thumbs down, it helps. So, you know, keep it up. But mostly I want those thumbs up because that counts more. All right, so thank you, Robert. And let's see. Oh, life in the park. Now let's talk about, oh good, thank you for letting me know that the life in the park is good. And Adventures with Jane, they say they are late, but they got to see the old man talking about Robert. So those are friends of ours, so that's awesomeness. And I appreciate it, you guys. And let's see, I see Pam, and look at those thumbs up go, Ann says. That's right. So awesomeness. So life in the park. Well, as you guys know, this thing jumps around on me, and I don't know why. I wish it would stay where I'm at. I'm the one that usually jumps around, not my software. But as you guys know, I had 3 critical emergencies this last week, and I did a video update from last Friday. And thank you all, thank you all, thank you all, thank you for being so kind to me when I lost it last week. And I did a follow-up video on that about 3 critical emergencies, about the good things that have happened from that. And so I think Robert's going to put a link up to that. And Chantel New, love you too, my darling. Thank you. And so the 3 critical emergencies were, let's see if I've got something on that to show you. If you saw the last Friday, and I'm not going to go over that because y'all can go to the video and see that. But my AC went out, and y'all can see here, they came and they fixed it on Monday. And that's them cutting holes in the roof and the ceiling and everything. And then they remounted it and they did some ductwork. And I shared all of that in the video. And Robert just put that up. Thank you, Robert. Y'all can click on that in the comments there and go see that if you're wondering what I'm talking about. But so they fixed it, and I'll come back to that in a moment. And let's see, there was I wish this thing would not jump around on me because I get lost. And then okay, so they fixed that. And then, as you guys know, the other one was Fancy Free is not running. She barely made it here to my home site, and but I've got and so then I don't have transportation, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But then Robert helped me find a new mechanic, and I just want to say thank you, Robert. He helped me find a new mechanic, and they are bonded and rated with Better Business Bureau and have all of their licenses. Robert vetted them and everything before he even not let me talk to them, but before he gave me the number and everything, and I talked to them and made arrangements. And so they are coming out. And thank you, my wonderful viewers and my Coco fam. Just, I can't thank you enough. Let me... So that's your applause. And I shared in that video that 3 critical emergencies, that the link Robert put up, that I'm like $6,000-7,000 in the hole trying to get all of this fixed and everything, and to then not have it all fixed doesn't leave me any money left over for repairs. Does that make sense? Repairs and everything. And then you guys came to the rescue last week, and I so appreciate it, but that meant that I wasn't going to have enough to get the air conditioner fixed. Y'all gave me enough, and thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll be able to, with this new mechanic, get things up and running. Oh, wait. Priola says, Priola 7, thank you. She said, here's the money you won from Daisy. I'm not letting her gamble anymore. That's so funny. So Daisy is her pup, and we want our two pups to meet. So that's hilarious, Priola. Thank you. And you guys gave me enough money because I have sunk all my money into the rig, and you guys gave me enough money to get the mechanic out and get all of that fixed. But I also have to say that because I wasn't going to have enough to get the air conditioner fixed after that it blew up, and we don't know what happened yet. And and here's Tracy says that she wished she could do more but I wanted to help. You know what, you guys, I y'all do so much, and I do these videos for free, and I sell my books and everything. Baby, you got to get down for now. I'm sorry. And I work really hard, and every time y'all show up, every time that y'all give me a shout out and give me a thumbs up and all of that, every time you do all of that, it just really helps. So thank you, Tracy. And so here's some big news. Are y'all ready for some big news? Okay, so there is a patron and a Coco fam member and viewer, and she wants to remain anonymous, that is going to pay for the air conditioner. I've already paid for it like 1.5 times because one of the parts didn't work, and she is going to pay for the difference to make sure that I get the cabin AC. And so I've got enough money because of you guys to pay for the repairs on the mechanics, and then she's going to help me pay for the repairs on the cabin AC. And I promise you that I will keep paying it forward, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And I just wanted to say thank you all so very much. So that is one thing that I wanted to give you an update on, and about life in the park. Isn't that awesome? And so the other life in the park thing is I want to say thank you to viewer Lynn, because you guys, check this out. Y'all know I'm dead. The RV won't move, and the guy said even if he could get parts and everything, it may take weeks or a couple of months to get it up and running. And so Lynn sent me a car, you guys. Best viewers, best subscribers, and best people ever. So this is on loan, and thank you, Lynn. That is on loan, and she said I can borrow it until they get Freebird up and running, and I'm mobile again. And so no wonder I have a big smile on my face, because I mean I've gone from not having rooftop air, not having cabin air, even though I paid for them all, and not having a rig that runs. But I do now. Oh, I don't have a rig that runs yet, but I'm going to. And so anyway, so thank you all for everything. And I appreciate all of the shout outs that you guys are giving everybody over here and each other. Thank you for that. And it's just, it's a whole new world for me now. I you know, y'all go watch that video, the 3 critical emergencies. Robert, if you'd put that link up again one more time, because I don't want people to know that I'm not going to repeat it tonight. You can go watch that, and I'm just in a much better place. I just had to give on the Friday Night Live those shout outs to all of you, and to the special people that have helped me, and to my friends and family that kept me uplifted during this, because I was a mess. And I'm not going to say that I'm not still a mess, because I probably still am a mess, but not as big a mess. Let's see. And Mark Wolf, I love that. He says, I give you and Robert my love. It's something you can't spend, but will always be saved. And like I said, every one of you that suit up and show up and give me a thumbs up or a comment and let me know that you're here, that is great. Thank you. Keep doing that. And if you have it in your heart to, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and every single video that you share on your social media helps me. So thank you. Those are the things that you can do. You don't have, that's what you can do to help me. Share, and subscribe. That's my request. So there you go. Rita says she can't watch that again. She'll cry. Last Friday Night Live was all the crying in the world. That was just, I'm like, thank y'all so much for sticking with me through that. I'm not a crier, but lately I have been, but I'm usually not. So anyway, Thank you. And Elizabeth, I see you on here. I love you too, sweetheart. That is my niece. And we're going to talk a little bit in a moment about some things that will involve my Dallas family. So you guys hang on. Let's see where I'm at. I've got to look at my outline. Oh, Bandit update. Are you guys ready for the Bandit update? And and thank you again for everybody for giving Lynn and my anonymous friend and patron and everybody shout outs for everything that they've done. So I really appreciate it. So Bandit update. So this is the video that is currently up on my channel, and I changed the thumbnail on it several times because it just wasn't getting the traffic that I think Bandit deserves. Not me, Bandit. This little boy was so abused and so horribly treated, and he has just come to be such a love bug. And I just so I changed thumbnails. He wants back up. He's like, you keep saying my name, Mama, but you're not pulling me up there. Anyway, so I changed thumbnails, and that seems to be helping a little bit. But that's an example of a video that if you enjoy his story and the remarkable recovery that he has done, you can go get that video and share on your social media, whether it's Facebook or whatever, or send it to friends and email, whatever you want to do. Grab that link and share, because he deserves it. He's just such a love bug, and even when he's not feeling good right now, used to, if he wasn't feeling good, you just come near him and he would start biting. So anyway, there you go. That's the Bandit update. And now let's talk about viewer questions. And thank you guys. And Lauri says she's going to, let me get rid of this for a second. Lauri says she's going to email me about a children's book featuring Bandit and a shelter dog who has been abused. You know, in my, thank you, Lauri, please do. And if I use anything, of course, I'll give you credit in that book if I write it. So in my last book, my last book is a pigeon story. But in the book before that, oh, sorry, I got out of focus. Sorry, I'll come back, I promise. I boogered something up, I'm sorry. Oh, it's not coming back in focus, is it? I don't know what to do. I'm so sorry. I hit something. I know I did. I don't know how to get it back in focus. Am I in focus to you guys, or am I out of focus? I can't tell. Oh, hi, baby. Hi, baby. Maybe if I come forward? I don't know. I don't know how to, I don't know. Oh, there, I'm back in focus. Okay, good. I don't know what happened. It just went out of focus for a little bit, at least on my end. So I don't know if it did on y'all's end or not. Okay, good. Yeah, some people are saying that it's focused, but I'm or fuzzy or blurry, but it should come back. I'll wait a moment till it does. I think that I hit a button or something. Imagine that, me hitting a button. You know, that's kind of like where is it? I got to find my. Oh, I don't even know where my squirrel button is. That's too funny. I just don't even know where all my stuff is. There it is. That was a squirrel. Oh, good. Pam, my friend Pam says it's good now. Okay, awesome. Clear here, Doreen says, and Chantel News says back. So it's because Bandit's wanting me to hold him, and he's not feeling good, so I have to hold him. I'm sure Robert's rolling his eyes because Robert probably thinks I should put him down and make him stay down, but I can't do that. He's my baby, so I can't do that. So let's see, we were at viewer questions, and tonight I'm gonna have to set you down, baby boy, because I gotta read something. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to set you down. Okay, so viewer questions. I'm gonna cover a lot tonight but first I want to say, Megan is asking, is Bandit going to get better soon or still dealing with the heat? No, he's not dealing with the heat. I covered that in that video. Go watch that one, the 3 critical emergencies. I said that earlier, and you might not have been on yet, Megan, and that's okay. I appreciate you asking and clarifying. I gave him a treat that didn't settle well with his stomach. So this is mama induced, but he'll be fine. It was too rich for his tummy, so my bad. Anyway, Let's see. Adventures with Jane said something, but I missed it. Mark and Irene are always cracking people up. I'm telling you. Oh, I see what he says now. He says he's been drinking. I looked behind him. So, so viewer questions. Let's get started on that. Let me find my way again because I've got some important stuff to cover with you tonight. Okay, a lot of people said to me when they knew that I was having such a hard time tonight, or last week, for the last 3 weeks actually, I just lost it last week. They were telling me contact HOWA, Homes on Wheel Alliance. There's MooTube and Julie Hansen said that, and Sarah Tree said that. I had a lot of people telling me they'll contact HOWA. They have emergency funds. And so what I did, you guys, is Sue Ann Carlson is the executive director of Homes on Wheels Alliance, HomesOnWheelsAlliance.org. So I contacted her, not for me, because I want those funds to stay there for people that don't have the resources and the support that I do. And in fact, just a few weeks ago, I donated to HOWA, and I'm going to tell you how to do that in a minute, for the emergency fund. So I certainly, just because things turned upside down on me, going to turn around and go, can I have my money back plus some? So, but I want to share with you what she said so that you understand the process. It's not a matter of just calling up, ring-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding, I'm in a bad way and I need some money. But they do offer an emergency fund for nomads. So let me read you what some of the points that Sue Ann, the executive director, had to say. She said, the application process includes verifying that the person in need is on the road, that the vehicle title is in their name, several estimates of repair, verification of insurance, safe operation after repair, etc. And so you get the money, you can be eligible for the emergency funds for nomads, but it has a lot of checks and balances in place to make sure that the funds are rewarded to those that the people who donated money to HOWA would want it to go to. So there is a program coordinator named Alicia that coordinates all of that, and she's a very empathetic person. She's never going to make anybody feel like they're asking for a handout or anything. She gathers the necessary documentation and everything, and then that goes out, and every award is vetted by a committee of staff and trustees, and then passed on to Sue Ann, the executive director, for a final decision. And so the Nomad Emergency Fund was created a year ago, and since then Sue Ann reports that they have awarded over $12,000 to 47 clients. And they encourage people to give back by helping others. Okay, when I say I'm paying it forward, I mean it. I'm going to pay all this forward. By volunteering and donating back into the emergency fund program so it can serve others as it had served them. If you want assistance with applying, you email them at efund@homesonwheelsalliance.org, and Robert will be putting, I think he's already maybe put that up. Thank you, Robert. So that is where you get assistance from if you want to donate to the program to help others. And they also have sweepstakes. They have an e-bike sweepstakes and something else right now. So you can enter for that and at the same time help out HOWA. And that is the HOWA.rallyup.com e-fund that I think Robert has put up. And so thank you for that. And so I just wanted people to know that it's not maybe an overnight process. It's not something that you can just call and do. It is a process, and they do vetting. And I don't know, since I'm setting up a home base, I mean, I've been here a couple of months or 3 months or so, and I'm going to be here a couple of more till I get the RV up and running. I don't know that I even qualify as on the road right now, even though it's just to set up my home base, and it's been a lot longer than I thought it would be, and I will be back on the road. So I just wanted to clarify that for everybody. And let's see, do I need to catch up on anything? That was the information on HOWA. Let's see, I think I don't know. I'm going to trust that. So I'll trust that I'm caught up. And there is a camera setting for the focus on this thing, and I'll figure it out. You guys, I'm learning so much new stuff, and I'm so grateful that I even have the ability to learn again. So I appreciate y'all's patience with me when things happen, like I get the camera out of focus and all that. So, let's see. Oh, look at this. Guthrie's Tree Service. Thank you. He says, was it hard to make the leap into van nomad life? And what gave you that final push to do it? And I'm actually, thank you so much for that super chat donation. Wait a minute. Let me get. Thank you, Guthrie's Tree Service. And that is a great question, and I'm going to answer that. I promise. It's coming up, actually, because I wanted to address that tonight. It was not hard for me to make that leap because of where I was at in my life. And it is something that I had been saving up for and was going to do in retirement anyway. I had bought a vintage RV and was going to be on the road after I retired, and she was going to be overhauled, new engine, head to toe, decor, everything. And it didn't go that way. I ended up being in a van ahead of time due to my brain injury. I think I've shared my story before, but I'll just tell you Guthrie's Tree Service, that I after a visit with my neurosurgeon, a new neurosurgeon, because my real one had retired, and the new guy was not so good, and was just real blunt that they didn't even think I'd see 2016. And my trustee at the time took me to lunch, said, if ever there was, and this was in early 2015, and she said, if ever there was a time to do a bucket list, hun, it's now. And part of my bucket list was to travel, and so we started from there, and I ended up getting fancy free, and here I am. I think this is my 6th summer out here. So anyway, that was what gave me the final push to do it. Was it hard to make the leap? Not at all. My alternatives were like this, but they didn't exist. So it wasn't hard for me at all, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Thank you again for the super chat tip, so that I'll be sure to answer your question. And that's how that works, so that I can be sure and see the question, first of all, because there's a lot of comments flying by tonight. And let's see. I think I'm caught up. Okay, so next on viewer questions, let me make sure I've got this. So next on viewer questions, let's see where we're at on that. So I answered everybody's questions about why I didn't contact HOWA. The next on viewer questions is alternative transportation. A lot of people had, interesting suggestions for alternative transportation. Susan Ray, in addition to telling me to quit crying, which didn't appreciate, and be a big girl, which I don't think she meant it that way, because most of her comments are always kind, and she told me to get AAA. Well, I have insurance that covers my towing, so I'm good on that. And reschedule, and when you're able, buy a runabout. DB Cooper said you should have gotten a brand new RV instead of a used, broken up RV. Well, that's great. Let me see. I'll take a 2021 20-foot Class A motor coach bus. How's that? We'll just manifest that out of the air. I mean, of course I would do that if I could, but I can't, so I won't. So I hope that answers that question. Alternative transportation, until my friend Lynn stepped in, was not an option. And so I would be one of those people stranded in the middle of the Mojave Desert. And so I'm very, very blessed that I didn't have to face that, thanks to Lynn and thanks to all of you from last Friday night. So another viewer question. We're still on viewer questions tonight, guys, and I know I'm taking a little bit more time than usual on viewer questions, but they were all so important, especially after my breakdown last week. Yeah, so anyway, so I got to come back to DB. Priola says DB Cooper should tell you where he hid the loot. That would work. I'd go find it. Just give me a map. I'll go find it. And anyway, I thought that was hilarious. Thank you, Priola7. So all right, so we're still on viewer questions. So to continue with viewer questions, let's talk little bit about alternative AC. A lot of people had suggestions and everything for alternative AC since my rooftop AC had gone out, and since I don't have cabin AC still. And the rooftop AC is doing the best it can to keep up. And I'll come back to that in a moment. But some of the things that I got is Debra Ann Alderman said get one of those 4 units on wheels. Oh, and she also said a tiny car. I would if I could, but I can't, so I won't. So, and Janet Winter says get a small window AC unit, and we're going to address all of this in just a moment. And Robert Birch, same thing. He said get portable unit on wheels with one of those one of those hoses, or get a 120 vac. And he's talking about an HVAC that runs on 120. So, and I see that some of you are asking me questions, and I appreciate that. But let me finish this up. Y'all ask all your questions you want to. I'll come back and I'll catch up. I promise. But let's talk about alternative AC right now. And I got Robert to help me with some notes on this because some of it has to do with just some very quick math. And I see I've got to give... Thank you, Lauri. I see my super chat tip through PayPal. Thank you. So, some alternatives on the AC options. Why not just install an AC unit, a window unit? Well, first of all, if you haven't seen on the news worldwide, the Mojave Desert is making world news this summer because we have record-breaking temperatures. And triple digit temperatures, it's not just triple digit, I'm 110 and above. Let me see, like right now, can y'all see that? It's 108 out there and 86 in here. Today it got up to 121. And my AC is holding very good to be able to get 20 and 30 degrees cooler. It's still not working optimally, but that is good enough, and I'll take it. So a 5,000 BTU, which is what everybody keeps talking about putting in the window, one of those small units like what we have in Fancy Free and what Robert has in Old Gray, his van that is parked here. That's normally rated for 100 to 150 square feet, which is what those vans are. And again, Robert, thank you for helping me with the math because I would not have been able to figure that out. So that's pretty small for an RV. This is a small RV at 23 feet, but it's a lot more than 150 square feet. And also those ratings on BTUs, they are assuming that your walls and everything, that the house has decent insulation, and that's based on more typical summer temperatures. And that I'm in anything but typical. So my previous rooftop AC that was going out that they replaced was 8,500, so bigger than the 5,000. And that's about the smallest that most rooftop air conditioners are for RVs. You can get smaller, yes, but it's not recommended. So that was 8,500, and to find an 8,500 large window AC unit or something, these old windows aren't going to hold that up. And also, or some people put them through walls. I don't have a wall without a window, and I don't know how to do that kind of installation, and I'm certainly not going to pay somebody to come do that. And so that's not going to happen. And this is my only vehicle. Lynn has loaned me her car, but this is my only vehicle. To be able to put a window unit in and drive around with a window unit sticking out, if I could get around to doing that, I'm just not going to ever do that. And so the other thing is, window units, they last a long time in homes, but if you put them in a rig, a van, any kind of vehicle, and you're bouncing them a lot and agitating them, shaking them a lot, they're not going to last as long. Got to come back. I see a super chat tip from KarDeez. Bandit, give your mama lots of cuddles and Starbucks. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, KarDeez, and I will catch up on comments, I promise. So that's covering the window AC unit. And then the people that are saying, why not install the portable AC unit? Well, again, those are inefficient compared to even window ACs or rooftop ACs. I get that they work, and I even have a friend, Julie Tooley, that has one in her van right now. And the reason that they're not as efficient, and I don't want to go into that in the scope of this video, but they're also more expensive than the window AC. And depends on what you get. You can get the used ones. Like I did this one time with my original Fiona when I was waiting on a rooftop AC to get delivered because I was changing everything out in her to plan on hitting the road after retirement. And I replaced the air conditioner in her, and I got one of those portable units, and I went cheap. I went to a pawn shop, and I got an older model that had the water drawer, and you had to add water, and you had to empty the water, and they all have to be vented with a hose somehow. And then you have to drive. You have to have a footprint to put that thing, and then you have to take the hose down, and you have to be able to block the air around the hose somehow. And you have to take all that down to drive, not to mention what it looks like when you're camped with people and everything. And so that just did not work for me. And not to mention that when you travel, you either have to keep them in the footprint that they're in and bolt them down or secure them somehow or store them somewhere. And I don't have a way to do any of that. And so then they have these toy-sized swamp coolers. Everybody's raving about them, and swamp coolers are great in dry temperatures. Like I'm in the desert, so conceivably a swamp cooler would work. And one of those mini ones, but you have to be sitting right in front of it. They don't cover square footage really; they cover square inches. I know that they say different. But those are the good quality ones like that are sometimes more than a window AC unit. And again, you got to store it when you're not using it. And if you travel, which I plan on doing, and you go from a dry to a humid environment, they're worthless. And so they're only going to work in some areas, and you can get them at Walmart. You can get them online, and they might give you some cooling, but they're not going to do an entire RV. And even if you did multiple ones, they're not going to cool an entire RV enough, especially at 120 degrees temperature. I think Furnace Creek, which is just 30 miles from me, is recorded to be the hottest place on earth, and they just, I think they just recorded 132 or something like that. So anyway, that's the reason I replaced my rooftop AC. And one, it maintains the value of this RV. And this is a long-term investment for me, and for for my future. And just the longevity, the performance, the convenience. There's a reason that they have them on the roof. And I forget what that one's called. Mini. I'm going to see. I forgot what it. Mini split. There's a mini split. I don't have the wall or the space to put in a mini split plus the expense of that. So it made more sense to do the repair on my rooftop AC. I had to get that done right away. I didn't have time to go do a portable unit, or I would die out here in this heat, as would Bandit. So I appreciate everybody giving me suggestions and everything for alternative AC. But that just was not in the works or in the cards, so to speak. And I hope that this helped explain why. Let me see if I can catch up on some comments. Daryl, let me get rid of this alternative AC title there. Oh, there you go. You guys all had a lot of questions and comments this week. Thank you so much. And I also forgot to say that my current rooftop AC has a heat strip in it too, so that will help with when I'm in cold weather. And Daryl Drax is saying, would a split level AC flash heater unit be more accommodating? And if you have the money, I don't know if if you're talking about the mini splits. I understand that they are wonderful. I haven't done research on them or anything. I have not heard of anyone say anything bad about them, but they are expensive. and you have to have a space on your wall somewhere to put them. I have all either cabinets or windows. I have no open wall space, so it wouldn't work for me. But I've heard that that they're really great. Let's see. Rita Ledbetter says, did they bring the new heat strip? No, they did not. And he was going to take the old one out. And Robert had told me, he said, I know that you are going to die of heat, but you're going to have to put some fans on you, and you're going to need to stay in there while they do that repair work. And, keep busy. Don't dog them. Don't bother them. Don't hawk them. But you need to stay present. And I heard him tell his employee, take that heat strip out. She doesn't need it right now. And when the new one comes in, I'll get it to her. And I said, no, leave the used heat strip in there. And when you get the new one that I paid for, then you can have this one. I said, in case I need to leave town or something, So anyway, yeah, no, I have a used heat strip, even though I paid for a used one. And that's okay. I got air. We'll just leave it at that. I can laugh about it this week. I'm not crying this week. Okay, let me see how I'm doing on time. Oh, and thank you guys. I have 185 on right now and 145 thumbs up. I appreciate that. And I am going to do one more viewer question, I think, because it's important. And I had a lot, like I said, I had a lot of viewer questions and a lot of comments this week, and I really appreciate it. I promise you that I read all of them. I can't always reply to all of them, but I read all of them, and the ones that I can't get to during the week, I try to address here on Friday Night Live, and I'll pull them out as a condensed version, if at all possible. So my last viewer question of the night, if I can find it. Okay, so in my last viewer question of the night has to do with alternatives to the desert. Everybody offered a lot of alternatives this last week, and I really appreciated alternatives to transportation, alternatives to AC, and now alternatives to the desert. So Robert Birch again, he said, maybe rethink your home base. Nevada anytime has really got me scratching my head. Well, Robert did a wonderful article on legal residency in all the states and the pros and cons. And Nevada has a lot going for it when it comes to making it your home state as a nomad or a full-timer. So there are a lot of reasons for that. And then he says, I guess my question to you, is this nomadic lifestyle by choice or circumstances? And I've already answered that, and we covered that just a little bit a moment ago, but in other videos. So I'm going to tie that into the desert and the heat, and why the desert, and there are alternatives to the desert, and other than being broke down and waiting on a new mechanic, why am I here in the desert? And I think that's a good question. I had a lot of people asking me that. And so, this global pandemic hit everybody. And I was in Alabama. I'd been with my friends Chuck and Letty for 47 days, and I needed to come home. And Nevada is my state of my resident state. And they needed to go to. I was in Alabama with them at their beach home, their vacation home, and they needed to go home, which was another state. So, I needed to ride out the pandemic, and at that time, I got here in June. Nobody knew what to expect, and I drove straight from Alabama to here. I made a couple of stops to rest, and I didn't go in anywhere. I was fully stocked. I paid for the gas at the pumps, and so it was a beeline to get home, basically. And I had to make a decision in May while I was traveling across the country. I have family in Texas. Y'all saw Elizabeth on here earlier, and but and my sister would have let me stay in her driveway. But that's called mooch docking. even though I would have paid her for the electricity and everything. That's called mooch docking. And you know, she has wonderful neighbors and she's lived there forever. But she also has 4 adults living in that house and some of her grandkids with her. And so there's multiple vehicles there already. And I didn't want to take a chance on her neighbors getting upset. And that's always something that you need to be aware of if you're going to be doing a situation like that. And I have family in Arkansas that would have been on my way, and I asked them about staying in their driveway because they have a huge, I think, I don't remember how much land their house is on, but it would not, I would not have been in their way. I get that they were concerned about COVID. I promised them that I wouldn't come in the house. I had no need to come in the house. I would just need to run an extension cord somewhere, and that was it. I was self-sufficient. And they were too scared of the virus, and they declined to let me come there. And that one's not going down easy with me yet. I hadn't gotten over that. So that was not an option. Chuck and Letty, even though I'd been in quarantine with them, or not quarantine, but self-isolation for 47 days, they invited me to go with them to their home. But you know, I'd already imposed on them enough. I was only supposed to be there a few days, and then the coronavirus hit, and I just, it's like the guest that never goes away, and I won't ever be able to thank them enough. And Chuck is the one, I bought the air conditioner and the supplies and everything, but Chuck installed my AC for me to make sure that I would be when I could get somewhere where I could plug in, that I had AC. So I was not about to impose on them anymore. Checked into New Mexico state parks, but at the time they were shut down. Most state parks everywhere were shut down. So it's not like that was going to be an option for me. And Colorado, you know, there were a lot of people that were camping in Colorado, but there were a lot of places like BLM, National Forest, all the places that I know to do, that I've learned on 5 years of boondocking out here. I also had my friends telling me they were routinely getting kicked out. I also had friends that had paid in RV parks, and the states changed the regulations, and at that time they were getting kicked out of RV parks because they were from out of state. The RV park owners had nothing to do with it. It just, things were crazy. So I just more and more felt like I wanted to come back to my state of residency, which is Nevada. Of course, I looked at Arizona again because I'm familiar with all of the boondocking and everything there. And along the way, you guys, if I passed an RV park while I was driving, I would slow down enough to get their phone number and I would call them. And I got to tell you, 9 times out of 10, they told me they weren't taking new customers or residents, not residents because I wasn't planning on living there, but they weren't taking new people. And and I couldn't afford it anyway, a weekly or a monthly rent rate there. But I tried all the way across the entire country. I tried. Wyoming, I'm familiar with Wyoming because that's where Robert's kids are, and I've been there 4 summers in a row with him. Didn't get to make it this summer, my first summer to miss in a while, and I'm missing them. But I called all of the places that I know in Wyoming, and a lot of the RV parks and everything that I knew there. And again, they weren't taking out of state residents, or they were closed, or it was something that I couldn't afford. So the bottom line is, you know, why Nevada? Why here? Well, this is an RV park that I can afford. Bottom line. And if I hadn't have come here, I wouldn't have gotten this RV. It has had its issues, I'll grant you that. But again, that is okay because Gina and Jeff blessed me in a way that allows me to be able to take care of the issues that the RV is having. So, you know, people are like, why are you there? Was it the best alternative? For me, at the time, it seemed like the only one. And I didn't, you know, hindsight's 2020, but I still don't know where I could have gone that I could have afforded. And also, I needed to find a home base, and I thought that I might do that because being caught on the road without a place to go is not anything I ever want to happen again. So I'm also doing that. I'm establishing a home base. I have a lovely home, and obviously there's been some unexpected developments, good and bad, if you want to label them that way. I'm not really into assigning labels like that to things, because every time you think that something's good, or bad, you find out that something good came of it. And so anyway, there have been challenges, and yes, there are alternatives to the desert. I don't need to be in, nobody should be in the Mojave Desert in an RV that keeps breaking down, an AC that keeps going out. But I hope that answers your question as to why I didn't go to the alternatives that are available other than the desert, and why I'm here, and why I'm still happy about being here now that I have AC. Did that help you guys? Was that too long-winded? I'm looking, some of y'all are laughing about something. I've got to, I'm laughing because Ann says, Robert is trying to make us watch coverage about the current heat wave. I think he needs to go to the timeout chair. Okay, when I see him, I'll make him go to the timeout chair once, just for you, Ann. Whatever that, I'll find something that's a timeout chair. That's hilarious. I'm not sure. Somebody must have asked about Robert's van. I do have the AC in his van, and I have kept it on low. It's costing, and Robert is helping me with that extra cost, because he wanted to make sure that I did have a place to go to if this one goes out. But again, in 120-degree temperatures, that 5,000 BTU, even though we've got that van completely blocked off, all the windows are reflectix, and then there's windows, and then there's blankets, and then we've got stuff on the outside of the windows. That little 5,000 BTU air conditioner, you go over there in the middle of the afternoon, and that van is still hot. And so it would be better than no AC. And I'm not not trying to poo-poo the positives here. Can I say that? Poo-poo the positive. It's an alternative, and I'm glad to have that option. But it is not ultimate. Should I say that? Let's see, Lauri, I hope that your babies get okay, and or Jacob gets okay, and that your mom is okay. And oh yeah, so my cousins are looking at at Marco to hit them. They are in Lake Jackson, and so the whole world has something to deal with. I've got the desert. Florida's got hurricane. Texas is going to have another hurricane, and my cousins already got flooded once, and I hope they don't get flooded again. So am I caught up? I don't know. Oh yeah, Debra, how are you doing? She just shared that she fell off a ladder. How are you doing, darling? Um, so. And let's see, Susan Shannon says that I'm living her dream, and she's from Palestine, and I'm from Texas, so I know that's Palestine, and retired in Kentucky. I hope I get to see you down the road sometime, Susan. I love being on the road. I do not love being in the Mojave with marginal AC this summer, but I love all the blessings that have come my way, and I love my RV. You know how it is when you're in the middle of a remodel, and everything's just, that's what I'm doing, because I'm shuffling to the bigger bed, and some things need to be done, and I'm still getting moved in, and then I can only be outside and work from like 6 to 8 a.m. And so I'm just in the middle of a remodel, and you know how that is when you're living out of parts of your home and everything else is bunched up, and even that is stressful. But after the remodel, you get this beautiful space, and so it's just part of it. It's kind of like a wedding. Everything's chaotic before the wedding, and then it always pulls off beautifully. And so that's the best thing that I can say. It's just, things are just chaotic right now, but then it's going to be okay, and it's going to be beautiful. And y'all are on this journey with me every step of the way, and I really appreciate it. Let's see. Marcy says, is the electric hard to do in your van or RV? I'm in an RV park right now, Marcy, so I just plug in. I'm spoiled. I've gotten so spoiled. And it looks like Michael says, good job tonight, cuz. Love you. Thank you, Michael. I love you guys too. Can't wait to see you soon. And let's see. I think that's it, you guys. I think I only have one more thing for tonight. And I so appreciate all the thumbs up, and I don't care about you naysayers doing the thumbs down. It's an inside job. And if your inside is as ugly as you are, then I can't help you. I don't know what to say. It's an inside job, and I'm happy, and I have 164 thumbs up. So yay. I love it. And now 167. Thank you guys. And so, okay, let's close with tonight's weekly spotlight, which is kind of fun. I've mentioned it a little bit. But so I am here in BFE in Furnace Creek. I'm 30 miles from the hottest registered place on the face of the earth with marginal AC. I hope you understood my reasons for why. Because it's a little bit insane. And so it is very hot. And GB Marie says, use a spray bottle. I love this. And I'm not making fun of anybody. I promise I'm not. But use a spray bottle of water to spray you and the dog, and the fan air will cool you. She survived a drive across the Mojave in the summer with no air in her vehicle, and thumbs up to you for taking care of yourself. She did that along with drinking cold water. And yes, absolutely. I put out several videos about ways to stay cool and how to do that, and I'm doing all of that. The reason y'all always see my hair slicked back is because it's always wet. And all of those things really do help. But, you know, when you're in the hottest place on the planet, you know, that's not a drive across the Mojave. Let's like fry your brains out, and you better get inside, and you better be closed up, and you better have AC going, because it's 100 degrees by 9 or 10 a.m. And, you know, Vegas is hot, Pahrump is hot, all these places are hot, but I'm literally 30 miles from 29 miles actually from Furnace Creek. And so, you know, I really appreciate all of the tips and everything, but this is a different ball game, and I'm going to be writing a book about my summer here. You can guarantee it. And my cousin says they call it Death Valley for a reason. That's true. I'm close to the border of Death Valley, and but I'm only 29 miles from Furnace Creek. And yes, they have. I have the fans. Marcy is sharing. Thank you, Marcy. She's sharing that they have the fans with the sprayer, and I have that. I have a pink one and a turquoise one, and I use all of that. And I'm 29 miles from frickin' Furnace Creek. It's a different ball game, you guys. You know, I just don't even know how to explain it. But and so I'm doing my best to take care of the outside animals. I've worked out something with the park manager. The park pays for the water, I pay for the electricity, but he's letting me do a misting system and a drip system. And birds are panting, birds are dying, but they come here and they get water, and it's fun to see them all cooperate with each other. And so I'm looking forward to it getting cooler into September. At least the first week of September, it's still showing triple digits for Pahrump. So I'm assuming that since I'm always about 10 degrees hotter right here than Pahrump, and about 7 usually than Vegas, then I'm assuming that it's going to be well into September before it starts cooling down here. But it's okay. Anne says she's not living near any place that has the word furnace in its name. I know I forget how many people live there. Robert is going to be doing a segment on that, or I think you've already done that, haven't you, Robert? On your he does Robert, the Nomad News reporter. He does a segment on that, and I'm something got me flustered right now, and I apologize, Robert. Put up a link to your channel, please, and straighten people out, because I just boogered it, and I apologize. But he's been reporting on things like that, and it's I'm watching to see if that comes up. So I'm trying to see. There it is. Nomad News featuring Furnace Creek. Nomad News. Why couldn't I remember that? Thank you, Robert. So he did a segment on that, and you can click on that in the comments. And and go see that. But it's like they registered 132. That puts them as the third hottest. But one of the first two was Furnace Creek, also back in the early 1900s. But it's being contested. They think that was not accurate. And the other place that has the number 2 spot is they're saying is it accurate. So either way, Furnace Creek comes in as number 1 and number 3. Now, granted that some of the hotter places on Earth may not have a verifiable recording mechanism like Furnace Creek does, and there are maybe hotter places, but right now it has number 1 and number 3 as the hottest place on Earth, and I'm like next door to it. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, Robert's so sweet. He says that episode even features a special correspondent from the Mojave Desert. And I told him I didn't know he was going to call me a special correspondent. And he said I was his only special anything. So I just have to share that because that made me blush and made me smile. And yes, that's true, Robert. That I remember reading that, or you telling me that about that article that it has to be very special equipment to be able to record such high temperatures. So, you guys, I think that's it for tonight. If I missed something, I can't. It's so hard to walk and talk and chew gum and share something with you guys and answer your questions and read your comments tonight. So if I missed something, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. And God bless our troops is right, especially the ones that have been in the desert and everything. And let's see. Oh, Wandering Wild Woman says Jackson said woof to Bandit on the TV today, and I wish I had. She sent me a picture of Jackson, and I should have saved it so I could share it with you guys. I'll try to remember to do that next week. Wandering Wild Woman, he's so cute. And if anybody has my books, well, you'll be getting these, but if you've bought one online through Amazon, and you can go to my website to find that link, please take a picture. Please take a picture and send it to me. Or if you have any of my merchandise, my t-shirts or anything, please take pictures and send them to me. I just love to share them. And oh, here came Bandit. I guess he wanted to say bye. Did you come to say bye? Oh, did you come to? You act like Mama's gonna drop you. Have I ever dropped you? What do you have on your head? He's got something on his head. He acts like I'm gonna drop him. I've never dropped him in his life. I've only had him almost a year. What's the matter, baby? You're not feeling good. You guys, happy anniversary, Megan. She says she and her husband are celebrating their 37th wedding anniversary. And I didn't see Susan on here, but another friend of mine, Susan, they just celebrated multiple decades too. I just love that. It's okay, baby. It's okay. He says, Mommy, you choked me. So I hate hanging up, but I know we need to. We're over an hour. I've enjoyed the connection, and I just want to say thank you again for sticking with me, especially after I lost it last week. And thank you, Lynn and the anonymous donor and all of you that contributed so that I can get this rig up and running. It's not like I didn't do my part and take out loans, and we worked on my budget to know how much I could take out. So I'm doing everything that I can, and you guys bridge the gap. And so thank you. I will keep you updated. And there's my friend Pam saying good to see you smiling. And Rita says glad, stay cool, glad you two are better. And just so many wonderful comments. Oh yes, but I want to do this one, especially if I can catch it right quickly. Judy's, oh, I missed it. I'm sorry. I keep hitting the wrong buttons. I'll catch it. Did I get it? Yes. God bless our firefighters here in California. Judy, yes. And everybody that's suffering from all of the fires and everything that's going on. There's so much going on worldwide. 2020, can we get it behind us fast enough? Anyway, thank you all for everything. I love you very much. And we'll see you down the road. Bye. Say bye, everybody. I'm going to go sleep.